was a school teacher as well.
That's her daughter, yeah.
This is mother, this is daughter.
Right, so this woman's sister, right?
That woman's sister, yeah. That's Angela, that's another daughter. That's Ida, that's another daughter. But this is the mother, right?
Yeah.
And these are original stones, and I'll tell you where they came out of. When they were knocking down the house, they took 3 of the cornerstones, because it was a stone house. The house was knocked down in the 1940s, and they got a stone crusher to cut them. And they put them at the foot of the grave before that ever went up.
Yeah.
These were at the foot of the grave, and these are 3 stones out of Butler's house, out of the original house.
That's so cool, isn't it?
Now, Katie qualified as a teacher, and she went to France, and she was a teacher of English to a very wealthy French family in Lille in France.
Oh my God.
And she was in Lille in France during World War I. And she got very badly injured during World War I.
Okay.
And when World War I was over, she came home. But by the time she got home, her mother was dead, because the war finished in 1980 and the mother died in 1970. So she went to America, and she was teaching in America. She was teaching in, she was down south in some of the southern states. I have the address now where she was. But anyway, she got cancer. And she seemingly was very, very well off, and she spent every penny she had to get better. And she couldn't get better. And she had no money to come home. And Colin and John and Vincent and Dominic were all in America and Canada, and they were her 4 brothers, and they put the money together to send her home. And she came home to the hospital in Tullamore, and she died in the hospital. She was never married. Yeah, she was 41, and this is her sister. Well, they call her Bridget Ida, but she always went as Ida.
Yeah.
She was 51. She lived here in this house and was never married. She never married. And when this house got too bad, the house was built across the road.
Right. Okay.
That's Angela's house across the road. Angela and Ida lived together, but Angela married. Right? So, when Ida died, she wanted to be buried here, and she was a private secretary to the Williams family. Have you ever heard of D. Williams?
D. Williams, the Brewers. Yeah.
The Brewers. She was Edmund Williams' private secretary.
Oh.
Yeah. She got cancer. She got cancer.
So neither of these were married, and both died very young.
Yeah.
41 and 51.
41 and 51. Now their sister Angela took over the mother's job. She was a school teacher.
Oh my God.
And when the mother in 1917 was dying, Angela was coming out of teacher training college, and she got the mother's job. And Angela taught until 6 months before she died.
Oh wow.
And she married a Ward who would have been about 10 miles from here, John Ward. And this house was getting into bad repair. The parish wasn't going to do anything with it. They owned the land over there. So they said, right, we'll build over there. So they built it over there. So there's one of Ned's sisters is Angela, one of them's Ida, one of them's Kathleen.
And this is the mother.
And that's the mother. Oh. And the father is over there.
This is really scary. They all died very fucking young. This better not carry on down to my line now.
But your Ned died very young.
Yeah, I don't ever remember.
He was in his 30s.
Because I never remember. I
already burst my.
Oh no, he would have been in his 40s. Sorry, he would have been in his 40s. What did he die? 1934.
Something like that. It was way back. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been in his 40s. And Mary Jane Balfe, she lived in Oldcastle in County Meath, and she died very young.
Because Pop, for some reason or other, never spoke much about his father. But I always remember every Sunday morning we were marched to Mass. There was myself and 2 brothers, Ed and Colin. We were marched to Mass on the Sunday morning, come home, you had a cup of tea after communion, and then you went up to Nana's, as we always called it. That's Arthur's house.
Yeah,
and
but don't forget,
every Sunday.
Ned died when the kids were all young. Arthur taught me he was 2.
This is right.
Arthur in Newbridge, in Ballymanning.
2, yeah.
Right, okay.
He said he was only 2 when his father died.
Right, okay.
So they were very young.
Yeah, they were all very young. Yeah, because that's what I say.
What did he die?
I don't know. That's what I say. Daddy never spoke much. And as I say,
no one near looked like a heart attack or fucking cancer because it's
No, I don't think it was cancer. But I'll find out now. Because Mary Jane the eldest of the whole 13 of them, another sister Edith,
Yeah.
she went to work in a big house in Oldcastle in County Meath as a cook. She
Yeah.
trained to be a cook, and she went there and she married the steward that was on the farm by the name of Bath, and
Yeah.
they had 4 daughters, and they were living in a steward's house on the estate. And the morning that the eldest girl was getting her first communion, the mother got up and got her ready and all, and got a terrible pain in her head, and she said to the husband, she says, I am not able to bring her, Peggy was her name, I'm not able to bring Peggy to the church to get her first communion, you may go with her. So the father went with her, and when he came home, the 3 kids were locked into a bedroom, and the mother was dead on the floor. She was after getting a massive brain hemorrhage, and that was the pain coming on.
On
Yeah.
the
She was
child's
a
first
sister
communion.
of theirs. And she died around the same time as Ned died in Newbridge, within a year or 2.
Like, as I say, I never much. And I remember, like, as I was telling you about Winnie Bell, and Brian McKeown says, Jesus, I'd love to meet your dad and have a chat. And I said it to Pop. No way.
Didn't want to know about it.
Said what? Said, no way. He said, don't bring him near me. I don't want to know. Nor I'm not meeting him. End of story. That was it.
I remember
Full
you
stop.
saying that about the,
Yeah,
before
full
all the
stop.
trouble
I don't want
from
to
the north
know.
and all that kind of thing, yeah. That's mad.
I don't know. And whatever it was. Now, I remember Kathleen's son, Sean Burke, lived up the north.
Yes, that's right.
And he had a haulage company, I think. And he was actually in partnership with, oh Jesus, he was a goalkeeper for Manchester United.
He was Sean Martin.
And no, Sean's partner. Sean had polio or something as a young. He always walked with a straight leg or something. But his friend, jeez, I can't think of the man's name. It'll come to me again. But he was a goalkeeper for Manchester United. And I remember coming home from school one time years ago, and Daddy said, when he missed it, he said, such and such a goalkeeper was here with Sean Burke. They were on the way back up the north, and they were coming through Newbridge or wherever, and stopped in. Just stopped in, yeah.
Good Lord.
Because at that time,
Pop is-
Auntie Kathleen was after going to England.
Yes, she spent a good while
She
in
spent a
England.
long time, and then when Lar, her husband, Lar, now there was a
I'm gonna have to
yoke,
write this
there
down.
was a
and
yoke
send
at the
it
time.
like-
He died in 66, didn't
Yeah,
he?
but somebody said he jumped under a bus, and somebody else said he was pushed under a bus, and somebody else said he fell under a bus. But there was something, they wouldn't bury him in England, and he was brought back to Newbridge, and he was put in beside Nana.
That's right. He's in where Ned is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's right.
And
yeah.
he's in beside Nana.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I remember them saying there was a yoke going on at the time, and somebody tried to make out it was because he committed suicide, they couldn't bury him in the graveyard over there.
Yeah.
And at that
They brought
time they
him home.
wouldn't, so they brought him home and buried him here.
Good Lord.
Now, he had a son